All right, young scholars, today we're going to learn about SQL. Well, to some degree. Like I told you the last 3 weeks, basically, nobody really uses Access in the real world, but I'm kind of forced to teach it because, they still want to teach what was taught 20 years ago. So in the month of April, we're going to focus today on SQL, which is basically how they use databases in the real world. Since you guys don't really actually know SQL before today, we're just going to play around with a SQL compiler online while we go through this PowerPoint in a couple minutes. Then on the 17th and 24th, we're going to use Tableau, which shows you how to basically make pictures out of data. So there's 2 homeworks tonight. And when do they do, Aaron? Yeah. April 16th, because there's no class next Monday because it's Easter Monday. And you have off this Thursday, this Friday, and next Monday. Nice long weekend to enjoy. And Angelo can go to the beach or the gym, whatever he wants to do, right? So one of the homeworks is quote unquote real. You'll see in the assignments SQL quiz. It's 5% of your overall grade. Literally all you do is download this SQL PowerPoint that I'm about to talk through and then answer the 10 questions. You'll notice you might get a 0 automatically after you submit it. That's fine. I'll go in and make sure the answers are right and fix the grade. And then there's the SQL extra credit homework, which I'll show you after we get into using the SQL compiler. So the intro to MySQL is just a PDF of slides from some other guy who goes really in depth in how you install MySQL on your computer and do a lot more things than we're going to just talk about today. Today, we're just going to show you, hey, this is how I set up a table and query a table using SQL. If you did the group assignment, you know it's basically just select from where. So go ahead and download that SQL PowerPoint there at the top, and you'll get this nice little comfy PowerPoint here. Under Armour night to night. What does that say? Elite 24. You're 24? Or that means 24/7?
No,
Angelo, you there? You wrap this up? Okay, Miguel. Where was SQL developed?
IBM.
Where's San Jose, California? Do you know?
California.
In California, yeah. Where a lot of these, big tech things happen. What was it originally called, Nino?
It was originally called, it's still commonly referred to as SQL.
Yeah. People will either call it SQL or SQL. What does it stand for, Angelina? What's structured? What does structured mean? Okay. There's like a pattern, a method, right? That's where the select from where comes into play. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago, but MySQL is a relational database management system, meaning it allows you to connect tables and information together based on matching terms. You saw the example with that picture, and we'll touch back on this momentarily. The depositor connects the customer and the account. Yes, maybe, yes, no, maybe so. All right, Max, Why do people use SQL over Access? Okay, what does that mean?
Online.
Okay, you still didn't answer what server side means. What's a server? Do you know what a server is?
I know what it is.
You know what it is, but you don't know how to describe it. Well, the describing part is what we need next. You want to phone a friend? Who do you want to pick to describe it? Just pick some. Miguel wants to get that 353 train.
Yeah.
Miguel?
I don't think.
Okay, Miguel, what's a server? A host of what? At this point, half the class might have Googled it, and Miguel's kind of like, that's what's called software. Foster, tell us, what's a server?
Server is basically a network that hosts a bunch of networks together as one, like a main thing that allows different devices to connect.
Okay. So that's when you're connecting servers or connecting computers with a server. A server can also be used to connect various web domains that are hosted on it. And that's where SQL comes into play. You're the client, or technically you go on a client, your web browser, Google Chrome, Safari, Mozilla Firefox, and then gain access to the server where your database is stored on. All right, Foster, since you are on a roll here, what's the third bullet point say?
Access made free for life.
So who had access freeze on them over the last 3 weeks we've used it? Just a couple of you? Just Michael, Ethan, Nino, and Sarah? Okay. Jack, it never froze on you? Nino, you like to save money, right? You're a
Yeah.
college kid. Access requires you to basically buy it. It's part of the office package. So you paid 3-year tuition for this nice little laptop. They're charging you for the laptop and all the programs on it. But maybe when you graduate as an alumni, you'll still get access to Office through your Seton Hall email. So that might be nice. Whereas SQL, there's many free options available online, not just the compiler we're going to use, but you'll see in that other PDF that you can actually download MySQL to your own laptop and set up your own database. So why is connecting to the web relevant, Carly? Okay. So you did your group project, right? On Access. You had to like email access to each other, like you did your part and then emailed it off to Josh. He did his part, emailed it off to Miguel, right? With SQL, you could all just log in at the same time and do your part and you're done. Much easier, right? You don't have to do a group chat or whatever you did. But who gives permissions? Who is in charge of your group, Carmen? Pucci? So she would be the super user, and she'd make an account for Josh, an account for you, an account for Miguel. Who else was in that group? Hank and Jesse. And so she would be the super user, You guys would just be regular users. She'd have more authority, but you guys would have access to whatever you needed to have access to. And you could edit, delete, modify, retrieve, whatever you needed to do. So you'll see momentarily, we're going to add stuff to a table and then query it, which is basically what you do to retrieve it. Does that make sense, Foster? Yeah. So what did I say about retrieving?
Super user is the one that allows you to retrieve the
What did I say after that? Retrieve is basically what you're doing with a query. You're getting information, retrieving information. Like if I wanted to find out all the young scholars in this section that are mid, we do the query like we did in Access. What is the process, older Ethan?
Client browser requests access to the server. The server responds granting access to the database.
Okay. So what is that similar to? What do you do in life on your computer that matches this? You don't know? You guys literally do it every day.
Look something up.
Younger even. Okay, that's one answer, but not what I was thinking. Kendall, you know? You might do this on your phone too. Maybe if you have a tablet at home. Michael,
Look something up.
You stream things like,
he didn't hear your answer, you know, he
Yeah,
said
no,
the same thing.
Oh,
exactly.
Josh, what am I thinking of? What is this thing here? Down in the bottom corner.
Wi-Fi?
You connect to the Wi-Fi, right? You do the same thing on your phone. You connect to certain Wi-Fi, you might have to put a login password in to be granted access, right? Or you go to Wendy's or Dunkin' Donuts, and you have to click OK to the little pop-up web page that shows up. Why should you not do that, Ethan?
I don't know.
You don't know? You know anything about security? So why is security an issue when you do that?
Say it again.
What, like you go to Dunkin' Donuts or Wendy's and you go on their free Wi-Fi? Why is
That's
security
secure.
an issue?
It's unsecure.
Yeah, it's not secure. You log onto your Seton Hall laptop here. You go on, what is it called? Pirate Net? It's secure. You got to put in your same login that you do to log in everything on your laptop and everything. It's secure. So Angelo can't get Nino's, you know, all his information off his laptop because you're on a secure network. You go into Wendy's with him and you both got your laptops and you're logged on to the unsecure Wi-Fi there, all bets are off. Angelo, you know, has your Netflix password. He's got your whatever bank account information you got on your laptop, and he's going and having a spending spree, right? He's going to go set up a home gym in his house on your dime, right, Angelo? No. Yeah, he'll be hacking mine. No, I know who's. Definitely Foster's.
Whoa, me what? Me what?
He don't even pay attention, so it's so easy. Right, Angela? Exactly. Get back at him for calling your clothes and appearance
Call me
mid all the time. You like to stay mid? That's not a good thing. So when you log into like say you have your own domain, like say we have olderethan.com. What would you put on your website, Older Ethan?
I don't know.
Like information, what would you put up there? Cross country stuff.
I want to do that.
You run cross country? Carling, is this true?
Yeah.
Kendall, is this true? And how come you weren't on like the list of young scholar athletes? That I have to update what's her name every couple weeks about? You don't know? Did you just join like within the last week? No?
I remember since like the beginning, yeah, you've been saying.
I had class in last semester.
So is that something you'd actually put on your website? Like cross-country stats?
Sure.
Carling, is this acceptable? Kendall, is this acceptable? Since your names might actually be up there for like, Carling ran a mile in 4 minutes and 58 seconds. I'll put that on his website, that's okay? Yeah. So PHP in MyAdmin goes along with MySQL. And if you actually have a domain name where you have a database, that's what you'd use to gain access. So I just kind of give you a brief overview. Oh, it's a powerful tool, blah, 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 blah. Unless you're actually going to set up a database on an actual domain. For the moment, it's not really all that important, so I'll just gloss over it. Angelo, do you own your own website? AngeloIsTheMan.com doesn't exist? No? Miguel, do you own your own website?
No, no.
No. Angelina, you own? No. Jack? You don't have like a blog where you talk about barbecue places?
No.
Yeah. What do you think ESPN and all these sports websites are? Those are basically just blogs. That's true. Foster, you have a website?
What a kind of,
Fosterismid.com?
I
No.
didn't name it that.
What's it called?
I'm more, a bit more about the local business I started at home and had it over internet page.
That's not a website, that's an Instagram.
So that's one, and then the second one, friend's clothing brand that I looked at.
Okay, let's look at it. What is it?
Yeah, it's called Design to Hustle.
Designer for Hustle?
No. Desire.
Desire?
Yeah.
Hustle?
Two.
That?
Yeah.
.com?
It might be .com. I don't. Yeah. It might be.
Pride, Hustle, Desire Apparel?
No, that's
Desire and
not-
Hustle
that's not
Clothing?
it. That's not it.
Desire Tea, Hustle Values?
If it's not up there, that's
Damn it, Foster.
the Instagram page.
Is that the Instagram? Pride, Hustle, Desire Apparel?
No.
Well, Foster pops up. No results. Let's see what Foster. Oh, his LinkedIn.
Oh, yeah. See, well, that's a YouTube blog.
Foster is an incoming private credit summer analyst at Crescent Capital, student athlete, and type 1 diabetic.
Official. Oh, 2000. 2000.
D2H podcast. Maybe he changed the name.
Yeah, he could have changed it.
Maybe it's just D2H clothing. Is this the Instagram page?
No.
No. You should have Angelo model the clothes.
Adrian, you want a model?
So the point I was trying to do, but Foster didn't give us a real website, is that this information would be stored in a database. The price of the product, a picture of the product, a description of the product, possibly where you might limit your shipping locations to, how much your shipping costs might be. You know, let's say Foster's friend likes to rip people off and charge like $20 to ship it. That would have to be available and noticeable. So that would all be stored inside that database and then populated out on the web. So Instagram is a perfect example of that. All these pictures that Foster's posting, you know, hey, here's me and my friend Angelo from Management Info Systems. We call each other mid in class, and the old man at the front of the room makes fun of us. There's a database behind the scenes. Stores your picture, your
Isn't all
maybe
that,
the description.
all that's put into an algorithm though, right?
Yeah. The algorithm is basically how it's displayed. The database is where the data is stored. Like first base, you're playing baseball. You got a single. Unless you're a speedster like I used to be and Angelo probably is. Ethan, do you run quick?
I'm slow.
No. Kendall, do you run quick? Kendall, I mentioned you. You were the second person after myself. But you keep your foot on the base, unless you're like Angelo, Kendall, and I. You can run quick. You may have a big lead and be at second base in a couple seconds. The algorithm is, hey, first base is here, second base is here, third base is here, home plate is here. It's like how it's displayed, set up. If you will. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
What are the three main data types in SQL? Giselle? Do you remember when we set up our fields in Access, there was a little drop down and there was like yes, no, calculated, number, large number. These are the same thing, but they're the three basic ones. Text, number, date, and time. Why would you want to use date and time, Foster?
What?
Why would you want to use date and time?
Day, the date, time of
Okay.
so that you have it categorized.
Do you do anything on campus where date and time might matter? Okay, not what I was thinking, but that's a good answer. Anything else? You like to eat?
Yeah, so it's
So what do they do at the dining hall?
they open at 7 and close at,
Okay, and what happens in between?
they have different work.
Okay, and what happens financially?
I guess people come out without a meal plan and they gotta use their card.
What else? Like, why do I go eat dinner at 8:30?
Class? Everybody class is late.
Yeah, but that ends at 7:30.
Isn't it cheaper, like, isn't
Yeah, it's
breakfast,
like $4 cheaper after 8 o'clock.
Oh, 'cause they don't have like the full, they don't have full options.
Yeah,
on it.
Right, but still. It would, oh, okay, it's 7:52, Foster's gonna be charged $11. Oh, it's 8:52, professor's gonna be charged $7. So date and time might matter then. Sundays, they may have like a special, like, oh, okay, we're only open till 2 p.m. for lunch. So everybody, you know, comes in at 2 and half our employees are off, so maybe the pasta bar is not open. So you might get charged less there too. Why would date and time matter for you cross-country unit scalers? Yeah, Got to get on the bus at a certain time. Got to get to the other campus at a certain time. Jesse and Nick, do they start like immediately, like first pitch is 105? Like you start at 105? Why would you want to use a number? Aaron, what's a number you want? Yeah, what's a number that you want? Like a 93 in this class to get an A, maybe a girl's phone number, maybe a guy's phone number. What's a number you want? Okay, so a number might be a grade. Christine, what else? Like phone numbers you needed for the group chat or whatever you did for the group work, right? What else, Thomas? What's a number you might want? 100? You're shooting for that big 100 in this class, huh? Nick, when you play, do you have a certain number you have to wear? Yeah, 22 for Roger Clemens? Yeah. I used to wear 22, but it was because somebody already had two. We both wanted to be Derek Jeter, so. But he actually played shortstop. I was center field second and pitcher. So 22 felt more appropriate. And then I was like, all right, I'll just do 17 because I can't have to. Kendall, do you have a favorite number? How about a favorite text? What's your favorite text? Foster is mid? Yeah, what is it? The syllabus for this class?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could be honest. Like ESPN, the magazine, maybe? Yeah. So that's his favorite text. Practice indoors today. Did you have to have practice on Saturday in the pouring rain? Just a meeting? Oh, so you're already inside. Carlene, did you do good?
On Saturday.
Yeah.
I'm injured right now, so I have to. I went.
What did you injure?
I sprained my groin.
That's not. Did you do it while running?
Yeah.
So did you yell at your coach?
Oh, it's not your fault.
It's yours?
Oh, no one's fault.
That's true.
It happened.
Things happen. Like Angelo asking you about your PT. Things happen, like you asking Carling about physical therapy. But you still go and support your teammates though, right? So do you like getting that same text that practice is indoors even though you're injured?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter.
Sarah, what's your favorite text? When I say that this class is over? That could be written down in text, so. So what kind of text fields are there, Foster?
Charge, which is size.
No. Char is short for character. Char size is a number you put in there for how big the char is. Like how many letters are in your name? Foster is 5 letters? 6. So it would be char 6 if we wanted to have Foster's name in the first char. So tell us what a char is, Foster.
Short for character.
Tell us what a char is, Foster.
Holds a fixed length string and contain letters, numbers, and special characters. Fixed size is specified in
Okay, so 255 characters is exactly the same as text in Access. But then there's varchar, which is what, Nino?
their variety characters.
Close. What's var stand for in computers? And probably certain chemistry things. Angelina? Variable. So variable characters. So you could do more than 255 if you need to. It can vary. So, you know, Angelo's GPA might be 4.00000000. And instead he just puts in a bunch of A's. He could put 256. It would have to be a varchar, not a char. He's got one too many variables or characters.
65,535.
Have you ever heard of data mining? So certain things could have a bunch of data associated with it. For example, the HTML code of ESPN's homepage. There is 1,159 lines of code. If you wanted to put that in a database, that's a crap load of text, right?
I'm thinking, they have computers that are mining 1,100 line of code.
Yeah. So I know how to write this. You don't. So I could create ESPN. So this is basically, hey, computer, interpret this and do something. And then when it's uploaded to a server, this is what pops up, the actual web page. So we go to fostersmid.com, all about, you know, Foster's, you know, academic progress. The HTML code that has CSS, JavaScript, PHP, HTML all rolled into it. The computer interprets that and then spits out the actual web page. It's the same thing with a database. You might put in random stuff that you understand, but maybe Ethan doesn't. The computer will understand it when you query it and it spits out what you want. So what's the difference between a char and a string, younger Ethan? You know? Anybody in here ever have a programming class? Jack, younger Ethan, Angelina, Foster? So what's a string?
Just characters that are like
Okay. So a string almost always is only text. Characters can be, you know, like your password, A43 exclamation point 72 Nina.
and like
Right. That's why I said almost. Because in a lot of programming languages, there's floats and all these different things that you get involved too. So there's tiny text, you know, like Tiny Tim, regular text, medium text, long text. Like I just mentioned to Foster, there's certain things that are a bunch of text and might actually need a lot of characters to display it. Like anybody have like a double middle name or anything, like Tom Brady? So Josh might need more characters to list his entire name than, let's say, Miguel, right? So Miguel might just need, tiny text. Josh might need actual text. One's bigger, then they get bigger and bigger. Who, Angelina, Jack, or younger Ethan, did you learn enumerators in programming? No? Nick, read off the screen what an enumerator does here.
Let's you enter a list of all possible values.
Yep, 65, 535. I'm trying to think of what math this might have been. Maybe discrete math with arrays and you put random numbers in them. Or lists. Anybody, did you do lists or arrays in your programming class? No? Jack? And it spit it out all at once, right? Visual. That's why it's kind of related to text, because it's a bunch of numbers basically put in one thing. So like this is a piece of paper, but if I rip it up, it's confetti. Hopefully that makes sense. Then there's number fields. Same idea. There's tiny int. What is int short for? Foster, do you remember that from programming?
Yeah.
Int, I-N-T.
That was short for int.
It is intercept. Josh? No. Integer. Very good. So we have tiny integer, small integer, medium integer, regular integer, big integer. And within, you could set up a size for it. So Miguel, how many letters do you have in your first name? 17 in your first name? Okay. So you would probably do a tiny int 17. And then we might ask, oh, how many letters are in Miguel's name? And you have to put in 17 or whatever you name that tiny int. Then there's floats and doubles and decimals, which are all basically, hey, it's going to be this size, but we can also add a decimal to it. Float is usually the smaller one, like let's say 2 decimal places. Double is something like pi. You might have any number of decimal places. And then you could also do a decimal, but it stores it as a string. So your number like 3.14 would technically be stored as a string, even though it's actually a number. Date and time fields. Foster, since you knew so much about this, tell us about it.
Date is year dash month dash day. Would it range from 1,000 dash 01 dash. Date.
Okay. Angela, are you still going to be alive in the year 9999?
No.
No. What about your great grandkids? Elon Musk got everybody to Mars. So everybody's still with us. You don't know?
Can't even run.
What?
Okay.
Look at that guy who runs All Elite Wrestling. You don't know what he's doing. His father gave him billions of dollars, so he does whatever he wants. Same thing with Elon Musk.
Who's the guy running? Oh, I used to watch that.
Tony Khan, the guy who owns the Jaguars' son. Yeah. UFC merged with them or something for only 51% of the company.
WWE. That's cool.
The company that owns UFC bought 51% of them.
No way. I thought they
Yeah.
were buying the whole thing.
No,
Yeah, 50.
the other, they're just shrinking it, the other 49% to the stockholder. So the point I was trying to make is we might not know if SQL still works after 99.99 because that's all they have it set up for. Max, what's a timestamp? Is that you beeping, Foster?
Yeah.
What's a timestamp, Max? Okay. So where might something be there a timestamp? Bella, where might there be a timestamp? Okay, on Blackboard, it might show me the time you submitted something. When you go to the bar, where is there a timestamp? You don't know? When you get your receipt, it'll show, you know, when they printed the receipt. If they have video cameras, it might show in the bottom corner, hey, Bella's at this table, you know, from 9:52:57 to 10:26:54. What else, Nino?
There's a quiz I was thinking. Timestamp maybe when you buy groceries.
Okay. Again, it'll print it out on the receipt. Nino bought 18 apples at 7:59:52 p.m. Max? Yeah. Like when Nino's doing his little Netflix and chill thing, right?
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah. Straight to.
Gotta pause it and go make some more popcorn, right? Jack, what's good on Netflix these days? Angelina, what's good on Netflix these days?
Oh, yeah. You gotta watch Black Mirror.
Black Mirror? Who's in that?
It's always so like pretty much the way the show works. It's every episode is a different plot, and usually it has to do with like some sort of like new technology or like something that will happen. So like there's an episode where you can retract like your memories throughout the day. Like if let's say like go home to like my wife, right? She's like, let me see what you were doing at like 2 o'clock. Like literally just see what I was doing at 2 o'clock. And
Nice.
honestly, like a lot of the episodes give you like
Giselle, do you watch this show? Christine, do you watch that show?
I
Who-
recommend it.
Who else has heard of that show?
Like the Twilight Zone.
It's like the
It's
Twilight
like
Zone?
everything like is bound to go wrong pretty much in the show, but it's always like off of something that started off positive.
I'll watch it if you watch Becker and the Munsters.
Monsters.
So what's it called? Black Mirror?
Black Mirror, yeah, on Netflix.
Okay. Ethan, why are time and year important? Well, let's just go with year. Why would anybody care about a year? What's something information-wise that you need to know that has a year in it?
Today,
Today's date? What else? Josh? The date of birth has the year in it, right? You might even know what time you were born. What time were you born, Ethan?
8-something a.m.
8 something a.m. What about you, Kendall? Do you know when you were born? 4:03 p.m.
5:41 p.m.
2:06 a.m. Jack?
5:36.
5:36 in the afternoon?
Yes.
Angelo, what time were you born? 9 a.m. Nobody was born in the middle of the night like I was.
Actually, no, exactly.
Back in the day, that's what happened.
Because I was 9.
Damn.
Had the umbilical cord like.
Same thing, Josh? Well, I can't speak for your classmates, but I'm glad you both made it. You're very good young scholars. Now Foster will say something stupid. What? You shouted that Angelo's clothes and appearance were mid out of nowhere a couple weeks ago. Why wouldn't we expect you to make a nasty remark about that?
I didn't even say those.
I don't know. John, give us some pros of SQL. Read a couple of them. Nice, you read all. What does concurrent mean? What does concurrent mean? So with Access, Ethan can only use Access by himself on his computer. Nino can't use Ethan's Access. SQL, you could both be on the server at the same time and querying a database. Ethan finding out, cross-country stats. Nino finding out Netflix schedules. And Carling finding out the local doctors in the area. You could all be doing that at the same time on the server. But you couldn't do that in Access, right, Carling? No. Because it might all be on Carling's laptop. And, Carling is not a big fan of Nino, so she's not going to invite you to her dorm, so you can't be on her computer. Right, Carling? No, I'm just kidding, right? You think Nino's cool, right? You're a little weirded out by his Netflix and chill stuff, right? But other than that, it's okay, right? Sure. What are the cons, Nino?
Cons of MySQL are has no built-in method for doing DB size limits. MySQL requires that you either pull the data integrity into your product, or you write some scripts to go through the logs and check that integrity was maintained.
So Access, that's probably the only positive of it. It already does that for you. Okay, this is Nino's Access. Kendall can't hack into it. Whereas a database, you actually have to do something, which we're not going to get all that involved in doing, to prevent, let's say, Michael from hacking Giselle's database. Whereas Access, you literally have to steal Foster's laptop, know his password, get onto it, to access his access. So SQL can do all the same things we've done in Access. Create queries, create database, create table, show table, describe table, delete tables, load data, select data, sort data. The difference is, as you saw in SQL View doing for the codes last night, that in SQL, the query is usually select from where. What are nulls? Anybody remember nulls from programming? Angelina? Yeah, something's missing. Let's say Foster's grade for, I don't know, Access Homework 2. Maybe he didn't submit it. It's a null grade. It's missing. So you can set one of your parameters or fields up in SQL as null or not null. Not null means, hey, this could be any value. Then there's also pattern matching and special characters, which you guys saw. We did an access with the wildcard operator, right? Then there's regular expression matching, like, not like. We also did that in access. Then there are some keywords that you saw with the totals row, like average, min, max, sum, and count, and group by. There's also having and union and joins, which in some cases Access also, or SQL also called append, where you're joining together tables and information. So that's why some of you might have not gotten the 2.5 for the append row. Because an append row in Access is literally just the next empty row where you can put more information. An append in SQL is combining data from one table into another and adding additional data. And last but not least, I think I went over this a couple weeks ago with this that first Access day with a couple slides. Data manipulation language and data definition language. Primarily all we care about is data definition language, which, hey, sets everything up and allows us to complete our queries. So Foster, any questions on that?
No, sir.
Why not? Because you weren't paying attention that whole time?
No, I've dealt with SQL before.
You've dealt with SQL before in high school?
College.
In college with who?
My database class.
Who was that with?
That's I also dealt with RC. That was not here.
What does that mean? Does he publish a lot? Geraci?
No, she just.
Is it Geraci?
Yeah.
I probably looked at some of her research before. All right, so now we're going to start actually using SQL. So open the SQL compiler in today's folder, and you should get a pop-up that looks like this. What? Yeah, what is it? Angela's cell phone? Aaron, what does any of this mean? You don't know? Do you at least know what the fetch part is? No? Did you do that part on the group work? Getting the SQL code? No, who did that in your group? Kendall? So do you know what the fetch part means? No? Does anybody know what that part means? Select wildcard from employee where department equals sales. What does that mean? What does that mean?
I think the employee table. So you're selecting you're selecting the employee table when you're looking for name and department.
We're conducting a query where we're trying to find any person who's in the sales department. So select wildcard operator. It could be any person from the employee table where the field department equals sales. So that is what we're doing in the fetch part. We're not like mean girls. We're not trying to make fetch happen. We're just, that's what a query is: fetching, retrieving, getting the information. So what is the insert section doing, Giselle? No, that's what the fetch is doing. The fetch is the query that we're running to fetch or retrieve information. The middle part, insert, what are we doing there? We did this with access, do you remember? Yeah. We're setting up our field values. So 001, Clark, sales. 0002, Dave, accounting. 0003, Ava, sales. So how do we know we only need 3 fields, Carly? There's only 3 names? What do you mean there's only 3 names? You don't know? Look in the section above it, create. What are we doing there? What are we doing? You did this in Access. It's just in words now instead of hitting random buttons. That injury's gone to your head, my dear. Just read it. What does it say? What's the first line say? So what is that doing? Called employee, right? So then what is the next 3 lines doing? You did this in Access. What did you put in the table? Right, you're making 3 fields in your table called employee ID, that's an integer in the primary key. A name that is text and has to have a value, it's not null. And a department that is text and not null, it has to have a value. Without those fields, the second part, we can't add them, right? That's why there's 3 things in each of the inserts. So if I run this, what's my answer going to be, Nino? We're looking for employees within the department, sales.
There's gonna be 2 names that come up,
Yeah, what 2 names come up?
Clark and Ava.
Clark and Ava, okay? So if I click run, Clark and Ava pop up. They're in sales. Make sense?
So like, you would do like dash, double dash insert, and put in what you want to put in.
What? Dash, double slash.
No.
If you wanted to add somebody else, all you would do is click after the semicolon, insert into employee values, let's just make this person 4 because that's the next in line, comma, the single quote, who wants to be an employee for this example? What? Angelo?
No.
What department? Jesus.
Yeah, no. You gotta get on that one. You gotta get on that one. I ain't say no shit like that. That's wild. He said waste department. That's wild.
So you put another comma and then single quote again. And then you would put waste. And what do you have to put at the end? You have to put another semicolon at the end so that SQL knows that this is a new addition. Who else wants to join? No? Max is like, no, not at all. Nicole, do you want to be an employee? No? Who wants to be an employee? Eshe, you want to be an employee? What do you want to be an employee in? Whatever makes the most money?
Yeah.
Okay. We do 005 comma, single quote. Put in our name, comma, single quote. Has to get in law. And then close it, the semicolon, semicolon at the end. So what if we wanted to get Angelo as the result for this query? What would I have to do? It's a very simple change. Foster, do you know?
Yeah, Angela is the employee.
As the only employee, yep. What do I change? In the fetch. We're trying to make fetch happen. Like what's her name in Mean Girls?
You select.
We only have to change one thing in the fetch. What do we change?
Oh, select waste.
Instead of sales, we go waste. This way, when we run it, Angelo is our only employee that matters. Right, Angelo? No? Not with that title? What title do you want to have?
Waste management.
That's what he's got.
PT.
PT. We can change waste to PT. And then if we want to query him, we'd have to change waste to PT again. And now we get Angelo and his department is PT. Is that what you want to do? Physical therapy? That's why that was like your first question when you heard about Carling's injury? Yeah. So why did you come here? What is your major here?
No, I'm majoring as
Why didn't you just go to Stockton? You'd be done with your doctorate in physical therapy in like 7 years and have a nice job. Carling, do you think he'd be a physical therapist? Yeah. He seemed interested, right? He was all worried about your injury and everything. You two aren't injured, right? You're good? But not like as bad as Carling's feeling right now. What about you?
Good.
You're good? You're in perfect health?
Yeah.
You're not sick, you're not injured. You're the embodiment of a scholar athlete, right? Yeah. Why not? You have mid grades?
Oh, good.
You're good? Jesse, Nick, and Josh, you're healthy? No injuries? So it's just Carling? You were injured in the fall? You're not alone, Carmen. It happens. Is Bree injured? What about your cousin? Yes, she's injured too? Did you injure her? No? All right, so who remembers those pictures we saw a couple weeks ago? With the customer and the account tables? No? No? Yeah? With the little triangle in the middle that said depositor? No? Reno's busy emailing me about his Netflix suggestions here. So what we're going to do today is set up tables for them. First, we're going to create a table called customer with fields, name, social security number, street, and city. Then we're going to add records to that table. Then we're going to create the table for one of the customer's names. Okay, Jack. So what on this third line of code do I have to change in order for us to create a table called customer? I asked Jack. What on this line of code that says create table employee do I have to change? Yes. Change employee, customer. Okay, we want to add the fields name, social security number, street, and city. How do we do that? Okay, let's start with name, since we already have it here. What is name? Does that look good? It's text and it has to have a value, so it's not null. Does that sound good enough? Okay. So how do we want to label social security number? Just SSN? Okay. So where it now says department, just change that to SSN. And where it has text, change that to integer. And we need a value, so it's not null. Well, what do I have to do at the end of not null now? Because I still have two more fields that I'm going to add. I got to add a comma. And then hit enter. And we also want street and city. So Aaron, what's a street? Is that text or integer? Okay. Do street, integer, not null. To create a field, no. I'm sorry. Street text, not null. To create a field street that has texting. Why is it text and not integer?
It's not the number address.
Okay. Because technically you could put, like, let's say Miguel lives at 22 Fisher Boulevard. You could include all that in a text. What do we have to do at the end of this line of code, Miguel? And a comma. So now we can add our city. How would we set that up, Giselle? Type in city. Okay, that's a good start. Text, that's a good start. Then not null. Are we finished? Why do we need comma and enter? Are we adding another field? Those are the 4 fields we need. So now we're done. No comma, no enter. But we have to do something here in the insert section. So how many people do we want to add? Is 5 still good? Just 3? Max is feeling bored. Just 3? 4? Who's arguing with Max? Somebody said 4. Is that you, Max? Who said 4? Max said 3. Somebody else said 4.
Angela.
Angelo, you said 4? Just to punish everybody. We'll keep it at 5. What do I have to change in line 11 here for this to actually work? We no longer have a table named employee. Change it to customer. So we can now insert these values into the customer table. We no longer have a first parameter of employee number. It's name, social security number, street, and city. So who wants to volunteer for this? Foster? After Foster, we have to put in a social security number. So let's put in Foster's social security number. 102-85-6636. Comma. Now we need a street. Open parenthesis. Make who hasn't been called on in a minute? Ali, give us a street. Yeah. Okay. South Orange Avenue. And then scroll over and change that last one after putting a comma to, I'm assuming we want the city to be South Orange, Ollie? Okay. Who else wants to be in the customer table? Nino's next, okay. So change employee to customer. Get rid of that first number. Change Dave to Nino. After the comma, let's put in Nino's social security number, 123456789, comma, single quote, give us a street.
To Richmond.
Richmond, okay. And then comma after Richmond and change accounting to, what's the town gonna be?
We do South Orange again or no?
Sure. Okay. Who else wants to be a customer? Angelo, you want to be a customer? Okay. So we change employee to customer because that's the new name of our table. Get rid of these numbers in the front. We change Ava to Angelo. After the comma, we put in Angelo's social security number, 090-911-8899. Wait, no, that's one too many. 090-91-1889. And the comma. For sales, what street do you want, Angelo? Hackensack Street? What's a street in Hackensack? Okay, Summit? comma, single quote, Hackensack. Do you know the Nitkas? The Nitkas. Nitka, Nitka. No, like the people that live in Hackensack. No? Okay. Who else wants to be a customer? Josh? Okay. So in line 14, we got to change employee to customer. Get rid of the first set of numbers. We change Angelo to Josh. After the comma, we add Josh's social security number, 714-80-8286, comma, what street, Josh? Okay. 100th Ave, comma, single quote, I'm assuming New York. Naples, okay. And who wants to be the last customer? No volunteers? Okay. Then I'm going to use John. Full name to customer there. Take Crazy Joe Davola from Seinfeld and use it as John's name. And after your comma, put in a social security number. 102 before 8976, comma, on what street? Arthur Street? And what city? After Arthur Street in the single quote, comma, single quote wall. And we now have our,
You have to put the semicolon.
what?
You have to put the semicolon at the end of that, right?
Yep, semicolons go after all of the inserts. Otherwise, you'll get an error. Okay, so we want to query this by a customer's name. So how do I have to change the fetch?
That from customer.
We change employee to customer. If we want a name,
Oh, we're just doing name.
customer name, yep. So what do we have to change where department to? Yep. Instead of department, we're now querying the name field. And who do we want to search for? I'm sure you all want to search for Angelo, of course, right? So we could change PT to Angelo and search for Angelo. Now what happens when we run this? Older Ethan,
I got an error.
you got an error?
Yeah, do the semicolon.
Okay, here I am.
You got an error on line 14.
Got one at one.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. I thought
Do you have a semicolon at the end of line 14? Then add it. Ethan, what was your error?
Line 3.
Line 3,
I see your line 3.
create table customer.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
The fields in the table names have to be in all caps. The field names can be all lowercase. And then the actual info you're putting in can be whatever. So what did you get when you ran this, Foster?
His name is Angelo. Social security number is 909118889. Street is City of Summit. Street is Summit and City is Hackensack.
For Angelo, his social security, his street, his city.
I'm still getting an error.
Where?
That line 10 column count doesn't match value count row 1.
Do you have 4 people or 4 fields rather, and 4 pieces of information for everybody? You should have their name, their social security number, their city,
Oh, because this reset.
or their street and city. Rather.
He doesn't have city.
Can you go back to the very top of the thing?
Yeah, you don't have city.
Started from the bottom, now we at the top.
Oh.
Max, question.
I got an error on line 3.
Do you have customer in all caps? What else is missing on your line 3?
I have 3 people.
Customer. You have the right bracket? That's an open parenthesis.
Yeah, I have that. Right.
And all of it's in capitals? It either is or it isn't. What do you mean it appears to be? Angelina? What's different on my screen than yours?
Oh, you don't have a, you didn't close it.
Did you close it with the semicolon at the end? On line 8, yep. You have commas everywhere except line 7? There should be no comma after the null on line 7. Bring it up, Max. Let me see.
Oh. This is like some like Middle East. I feel like a cop right now.
It's like programming languages. It's built on C++. So you have to use the syntax the way it wants. Error at line 11, column. Error at line 15, you have an error in your SQL syntax. You're missing the semicolon. Angelina, what's missing on yours? On line 11. Do you have no comma here? You forgot the comma in between the street and city? What else is missing on line 11? The jobs? Yep. So there should only be 4, the name, the social security number, the city, and the street, or the street and the city. Carling, you got it? So now you could teach your pal Bree some stuff later. Because they didn't learn this. Miguel, good? Angelina, you fixed it? Anybody else have an error? John, what's your error? And you made sure you have just these 4 fields? Name, social security, street, and city? And you have commas in between all of them? All right, bring it up, let me look at it. Sarah, you good? Bella, good? Christine, good? Jesse, good? Giselle, good? Ah, okay. So see where you have customer there?
Yeah.
Capitalize all of them. That should be the only issue. So why do you have 2 streets? You don't. Why would it say that you have duplicate streets if you don't? I don't think the SQL compiler would lie. So you should have these 4 fields: name, social security number, street, and city. Then when you're inserting the values, you should have a name, a social security number, a street, and a city. 4 and 4. Make sure they match. Ethan, good? Younger Ethan, good? Jack, good? Nino, good?
Yes, sir.
Michael, good? Other Michael, good? Ellie, good? John, that fixed it? Oh boy, now what's it say? Where do you have an integer? The only one that should be an integer is social security number. And don't put the quotes around that. See how?
Yeah, I don't.
Okay. Aaron, do you know what I would do if I wanted to query all the people that were in South Orange on this? What is the field that city goes in? What field is city stored in, Aaron? City, right? So it says where name, we would change name to city. And now we can do Angelo and change him to South Orange. We should get what, 2 results? While we run it? Who do we get? Foster and Nino, oh, one, never want to leave South Orange? Jack, what else do you want to query? Let's do one more quick and then create the account table. So what would I have to put there? Okay, but you wanted to display all of them.
Keep it all equal.
Should work. But no, it doesn't want us. Now I'm wanting to let me backspace. So let's pick one of them. So let's say 102.348976. That'll just display that person. And why did I get rid of the single quotes? Because it's an integer.
And then crazy guy.
Crazy John DeVola matches the last social, right? All right, now let's quickly make an account table with an account number and an account balance. And then we'll just check to see whose balance is greater than 5,000. Then I'll show you the extra credit homework and you could ask questions on that. All right, Aaron, we're changing the table name from customer to account. What do we do? Okay, delete customer and do what? Name it account. Okay, so we only need two fields for this, account number and balance. So what's the first thing we can do, Foster?
Change name to
Okay, change name to, let's say, ACT Ba. Is it a text? Nope, so we change text to integer. Then what? We have account balance or account number. Actually, let's just do ACT and O for number. Now we need a balance. So what do we do? Thomas, what do we do? We're creating a second field called balance. What do we do? We can delete Social Security number and make it a balance. And a balance is money, so that's an integer, right? So we don't have to change that. But now what do we do? Those are the only two fields we need. What do we got to do?
Erase city and street and get rid of the comma after balance.
Delete city and street from lines 6 and 7. And delete the comma at the end of line 5. So now we've created a table called account with two fields, account no, or account number, and balance. Both of them are integers. So now we have to do what to the first line here on 9?
Change that to account.
Change insert into customer values to account. And we might as well do it for all 5 now. Change customer to account for all 5.
Is that a quicker way we can do that?
Yeah. If we were typing this up in Word, you could do find and replace. So then on each line, get rid of everything after your Social Security number. Because we're just going to have 2 numbers. So now we can't query Angelo, so don't ask because there's no name anymore. Okay, Angelo, give me a number. Okay, so the first person has an account number of 7. Angelina, give me their balance. $40, okay. Younger Ethan, give me a account number. Give me a big balance. 42,000, okay. Foster, give me a number. 80, okay. Apparently this bank just opened.
Wait, change, all right, change. 123,000.
That'd be difficult. 23,000?
Yeah.
Give me a big balance.
1.2.
1.2 million. So that's 1,200,000. Jack, give me a account number. 3, okay. Give me an account balance. What? Why does everybody like 42,000?
Oh my gosh, I came out that way.
50,000? I was gonna say, like, is that what they're telling you when you graduate, that's what you're gonna make? Is this cemented in all your heads? Giselle, account number. 57. And a balance. $2,000. Okay. So if I want to find out what accounts have more than $5,000 in them, what do I have to do? I have to make 3 changes to the line of code in 16 there.
Select from account.
That's the first change. We change customer to account because that's our table name.
And then where balance.
Where we change SSN to balance.
And then we do same key. 5,000.
Yep. And then after the equal sign, we do greater than sign 5,000. How many results did you get when it ran? You should have the 42,000, the 1.2 million, and the 50,000, right?
It says I should have an error coming at line 18.
Line 18, you have an error.
Check the manual that corresponds to my. Because I didn't put the.
Yeah, area line.
It's asking for like the quotes around it.
It wants a single quote. No. Why did you tell us to put the
No,
single?
because I don't know why this is giving me a problem.
Error at line 16. Is that what you got?
I have mine's at 18. It says.
This worked before.
But yeah, I guess your 16 will be my 18.
Oh, I see. You don't want the equal sign because we're just doing greater than 5,000. There's no equals, so that screwed it up.
Okay, I got it.
So get rid of the equal sign and just have it be greater than 5,000 and run it, and you should get your 3 results there. Our young scholars who opened when the bank first started, and then Foster, who has, just opened it yesterday when somebody gave him 1.2 million. Angelo, is that why you want to be a physical therapist? So in 5 years, you can make that kind of bank? No?
He's in it for the helping.
Yeah.
Not in it for the money. Wait, which number are we looking at?
The 1.2 million.
Oh, yeah, of course. I thought we were looking at the 50,000. But oh,
You'd make that in about half a year is what that is. Well, probably before tax. Yeah, taxes. What else? Property taxes.
I'm gonna have my, I'm gonna have my home address as a Florida address.
What if we,
You
what if we want to have the,
when you get caught.
account number be greater than 6, let's say? How do we do that, Angelina? The account number is gonna be greater than 6. Okay, change balance to account now. Then instead of greater than 5,000, greater than 6. And how many results did you get when you ran that?
Uh,
3 results?
well, like, yeah, I got what you got. Three rows.
You shouldn't have what's up there now. That was for the last one.
Oh,
You should have 123,057, right? Those are the ones where the account number is greater than 6.
Yeah, I have 7. Okay, yeah.
3 and 4 shouldn't be there.
You know, that's what I got. I got 740, 123,000, 1.2 mil, 57, and 2,000.
Very good.
We're getting an error.
Why? Did you change balance to account now?
Oh, that's why.
And you've been calling Angelo. He got a better score than you on the exam, got a better group project score than you. Right, Angelo? You gotta be like proud. You finished your orange juice? You finished your orange juice?
Oh, no.
That was yours? Oh. You finished? Because usually Angelo comes in here with like powder milk or what's that stuff you drink before the gym?
Here we go.
What's it called that he usually has?
Andrew, I had a match.
What's your max leg press? What's yours?
Like 800. I mean, I really like that.
No.
There's a compound kind of.
I don't take life like that.
Years ago I did it. I got up to 650. That was it.
Like Rick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
No,
that,
last time-
that was back when I looked like Jesse, you know. Many, many years
No, but
ago,
last time I liked her, like,
when I looked like an athlete, like Jesse. All right, young scholars, so the extra credit assignment or SQL is to use that same SQL compiler we just used to create a table assigning an integer primary key to everyone in class, listing their name, gender, current grade level, and number of credits earned. Display all data for only students who are currently freshmen. So your query would be, in this example, select from whatever you name your table where, let's say you name it grade, equals, and then in the single quote, freshman. Make sense? Use the class roster to create your table. You might have to talk to your classmates, to get some of this info. So who in here is a freshman? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So those would be your results. You don't have to do all 33 people. Let's say you pick, I don't know, 10, 11 kids.
On the
And
roster.
do you guys actually see this on Blackboard?
If you have shoe mobile. Oh, yeah?
Do you see these same things on the side like I do?
Not all of them. Yeah, I don't.
So you should be able to click groups. Why not? There should be a button down here that says users and groups somewhere. You don't see that? Damn it.
Like, you probably upload like a file of the roster.
Well, this is being recorded, so I'm just gonna post a recording and kind of scroll through this quickly. McGill's there, Foster the midman is there. Just pick, let's say, 10 of these and reach out to them and be like, yo, what's your, what did I say? Grade level, number of credits. So the way you would submit that is simply email me a copy of your code and a screenshot of your results. So this here is the code. This over here is the output, your results. So just copy the code, put it in a Word file, and then do Control Print Screen. Again, a screenshot of the results. Put that in a Word file and email it to me by the 16th.
All in one document, right?
All in one document. Because there's no Dropbox for it because it's extra credit. And you could possibly earn 100 points for it. So basically you bomb 2 homeworks, it replaces it. What was your question?
Oh, the quiz, that's gonna be in class or?
So the quiz should be available at 7:30 tonight. And all you do is just open this PowerPoint, find the 10 answers, put them in. It'll tell you you got a 0. And when they're all due a week from Sunday, I'll look through and fix everybody's grade.
The extra credit will be 16, right?
Both of these are due the 16th. There's no class next Monday or Easter Monday. So you have an extra week to do. All right, so are there any questions on that? Like I said, you don't have to do all 33 young scholars in class, just pick 10 of them.
You got me, Nino? I always got you, my lord. Yes, sir. Teamwork makes the dream work. That's right.
Let's go!